Hey, 49ers fans. Today, we need to talk about something that has completely shaken up the San Francisco locker room and sent shockwaves through the league. Brandon Ayuk, one of the team's homegrown stars and a player who had become a household name among Niners fans, is now officially on the left team reserve list, and this has huge implications for both him and the organization. For those of you who haven't been following closely, this is far from a typical situation where a player just walks off the field or sits out for a game. Ayuk's absence has been mysterious, almost like he's disappeared into thin air, and it forced the 49ers management to make a very rare roster move. Head coach Kyle Shanahan confirmed that they haven't seen him in about a month, which makes this more than just a hiccup. This is a situation that has effectively ended his season before it really even had a chance to continue. The real shock for many fans and analysts is how quickly things spiraled. Ayuk had a career trajectory that seemed destined for long-term success with the Niners. Drafted in 2020, he steadily improved each season, developing into an all-pro caliber wide receiver by 2023. Back-to-back 10,000-yard seasons put him in elite company, and his performance on the field clearly earned him the contract he received. But now, despite all of that, the relationship between player and organization has broken down so completely that there seems to be no coming back. The guarantees for 2026 have been voided, which amounts to roughly $25 million lost for his expected earnings. What's even more striking is that Ayuk hasn't pushed back through the Players Association, signaling that he's completely stepping away from the team and the organization that drafted him. It's worth noting that Brandon has had a long history of cryptic messages on social media, expressing dissatisfaction in ways that were often hard to decode. The latest Instagram post might have left fans scratching their heads even more, full of references to cars and cryptic phrases that don't immediately make sense. But when you look at the broader picture, the signs were always there. For months, observers have been noticing his body language and performance issues, and there were repeated rumors that he wasn't happy with the team. Now, those suspicions have been confirmed in the most undeniable way. Ayuk is officially off the roster and ineligible to play this season. From the team's perspective, this move, while unfortunate, does open up some salary cap space for San Francisco in the short term. They're set to gain roughly $26 million in 2026 cap space and potentially over $80 million over the duration of his contract, which certainly provides flexibility for future moves. But no amount of financial maneuvering can replace the talent that Ayuk brought to the field. He was versatile, dynamic, and capable of beating defenders in both zone and man coverage, something that few receivers in the league can do consistently. The timing of this absence is particularly painful, given that the Niners remain in contention for the top seed in the NFC and are pushing hard for a playoff spot with a 10-4 record. The offense has been firing on all cylinders since Brock Purdy returned, but imagine the potential if Ayuk had been available alongside him. The chemistry, the big plays, the matchups that favored San Francisco, all of that is now lost for the rest of the season. It's also impossible to ignore the human element in this story. Ayuk's situation raises questions about his mental and emotional state. His sudden withdrawal from the team and erratic behavior suggest that something deeper may be going on. Professional athletes are under enormous pressure, and even the most talented individuals can struggle when expectations, personal goals, and off-field influences collide. From what we've seen and heard, it's clear that the surrounding environment and perhaps some poor advice have contributed to this breakdown. The Niners organization has always been highly respected and well-run, known worldwide for its success and stability. But even the best organizations can encounter situations like this. Ayuk's departure is a reminder of how fragile relationships can be in professional sports, even between players and the teams that help them rise to prominence. Looking at the trajectory of his career, it's especially sad to see this happen. He was not only a top performer, but also someone fans had watched grow from a promising rookie to a marquee player capable of defining games. In 2023, he earned All-Pro honors, cementing his place among the league's elite. That makes this sudden severing of ties even more dramatic. The on-field achievements, the highlight reel plays, and the moments of brilliance that Ayuk provided are now overshadowed by contract disputes, cryptic social media posts, and a relationship that can no longer be repaired. For the Niners, it's a loss both in terms of production and team morale. And for Ayuk, it represents a turning point that will define the next stage of his career. Meanwhile, the Niners continue to navigate the season with the remaining roster, facing the reality that some of their best weapons are no longer available. Injuries have compounded the issue, with key players like Ricky Patil dealing with setbacks, and the combination of missing talent and injuries has created challenges for the offensive scheme. Shanahan and the coaching staff have had to adjust, reshuffling personnel and making strategic decisions to keep the team competitive. The hope is that the younger or less experienced players can step up in the absence of stars like Ayuk, but the gap in skill and experience is hard to replace. Fans are left to speculate what could have been, imagining the explosive combinations and the deep connections that might have made the Niners' offense even more formidable. As we continue to analyze this situation, it becomes clear that the fallout from Ayuk's absence will be felt for years, both on and off the field. The financial implications, the cap space calculations, and the impact on the team's playoff chances are immediate concerns. But the longer-term effects on roster construction, team culture, and fan perception are equally significant. For a player who had been such an integral part of the Niners' success, this is a stark reminder that professional sports are as much about relationships and trust as they are about talent and performance. The organization will have to move forward, balancing the excitement of a playoff run with the disappointment of losing a key contributor. As the dust settles around Brandon Ayuk and the San Francisco 49ers, the focus inevitably shifts to the questions everyone is asking. What does this mean for the team moving forward? And what does the future hold for Ayuk himself? The truth is, while the immediate headlines are dominated by the drama of his absence, the implications run much deeper. From the standpoint of team dynamics, the Niners now face the challenge of recalibrating their offense to compensate for the loss of one of their most dynamic playmakers. In a league where timing, chemistry, and precision are everything, losing a player like Ayuk is not simply about replacing the numbers on the stat sheet. It's about replacing instinctive connections, understanding between the quarterback and his receivers, and the ability to stretch defenses in ways that few other players can. Brock Purdy, who has proven resilient and adaptable, now has to adjust to a different set of targets and schemes, often relying on less experienced players to step into highly demanding roles. The coaching staff has undoubtedly spent countless hours reworking playbooks, emphasizing different combinations, and adjusting the offensive approach to keep the team competitive. Meanwhile, Ayuk's absence is sending ripples through the locker room in ways that are harder to quantify. Teammates who have relied on him for big plays and veteran leadership must now adjust not only on the field, but also in terms of morale. Chemistry isn't just built in practices or games. It's built through shared experiences, trust, and accountability. The Niners players have had to adapt quickly to a situation that, frankly, is almost unprecedented. We're not talking about a temporary injury or a minor suspension. This is a player essentially stepping away from the team midseason. Kyle Shanahan's comments about not seeing Ayuk for over a month highlight just how unusual and challenging this situation is. From a leadership perspective, Shanahan and the coaching staff are forced to navigate uncharted waters, balancing the need to maintain team cohesion with the reality that one of their top talents is no longer part of the daily grind. From Ayuk's perspective, this is equally complex. There is no question that he has immense talent, the kind that could define games and alter the trajectory of a season. His route running, ability to create separation, and skill in yards after the catch made him a nightmare for defenses and a trusted weapon for his quarterback. But talent alone does not guarantee success if the surrounding circumstances are unstable or if personal motivations diverge from the team's objectives. The cryptic social media posts, the silence, and his refusal to contest contract voids all suggest a player who has made a deliberate decision to disengage. While fans may debate whether this is a selfish move or a necessary step for personal reasons, the reality is that Ayuk is no longer part of the 49ers' plan for the immediate future. This raises questions about his next steps. Will he attempt a trade, seek a fresh start elsewhere, or take time to regroup and assess his options? For a player of his caliber, There are always opportunities, but this chapter in San Francisco has ended in a way that is unlikely to be forgotten quickly. Financially, the 49ers have navigated the fallout with a mixture of caution and pragmatism. The voided guarantees reduce the immediate burden, but the dead cap implications for 2026 and 2027 ensure that some fiscal consequences remain. Still, the flexibility gained may allow the organization to pursue other talent, either through free agency or internal development, and to redistribute resources in ways that strengthen the roster overall. It's a delicate balance. The team must acknowledge the loss of a star player while also preparing to maximize the assets they now have available. The next few weeks and months will be critical in shaping how the team adapts to these challenges, and the decisions made by management, coaches, and players will define the trajectory of this season and beyond. Analysts and fans alike have debated the root causes of this breakdown. Some point to the contract negotiations, suggesting that expectations around money and role created friction. Others argue that poor guidance or external influences may have contributed to a player making decisions that are not in line with the team's goals. Regardless, it is evident that the disconnect reached a point where reconciliation was no longer feasible. From a team culture perspective, this serves as a cautionary tale. Even in a well-run, globally respected organization, relationships can fracture when communication, alignment, and expectations are mismanaged. For the Niners, the lesson may be about balancing financial and contractual considerations with the human aspect of managing elite athletes, ensuring that players feel valued and motivated while maintaining accountability and performance standards. Beyond the immediate implications for San Francisco, there's the question of Ayuk's legacy and public perception. He transitioned from a beloved, homegrown talent to a figure whose absence dominates headlines, and that narrative will influence how fans, media, and even future employers view him. The trajectory of professional athletes is rarely linear, and personal decisions often carry as much weight as on-field performance. For Ayuk, rebuilding his reputation, finding a new environment that aligns with his goals, and demonstrating that he can continue to perform at an elite level will be critical for the next phase of his career. The talent is undeniable, but so too is the challenge of overcoming the narrative that has developed around his departure from the Niners. And forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. A storm appears to be brewing in San Francisco as whispers from inside the 49ers locker room hint at a major shakeup. Sources close to the team claim that head coach Kyle Shanahan has reportedly benched one of his starters following what is being described as a heated altercation behind closed doors. Eyewitnesses say the confrontation was intense enough for Shanahan to allegedly declare, "He is out of here," though the context of the argument remains murky. Speculation is rampant among fans and analysts alike. Some insiders suggest the disagreement may have revolved around on-field responsibilities or practice habits, while others hint at deeper tensions that have been simmering for weeks. Regardless of the cause, the incident has reportedly left the locker room on edge, with teammates said to be divided in their reactions. Several players, speaking anonymously, have suggested that while Shanahan is known for his fiery demeanor, taking such a decisive action midseason is rare even for the often passionate coach. Sports pundits are already weighing the potential fallout. Could this be the catalyst for a larger roster shakeup, or will the move be a one-off statement meant to send a message to the rest of the squad? Analysts are debating whether Shanahan's decision reflects a long-term strategy to assert authority or a short-term reaction to a moment of frustration. Whatever the case, speculation about the player's future is already heating up, with rumors suggesting possible trade talks or even a permanent benching could be on the horizon. Social media has exploded with fans weighing in, many expressing shock, while others defend Shanahan's tough love approach. The incident has also sparked conversations about team culture and leadership, raising questions about whether the 49ers locker room is fractured or simply navigating the turbulence of a high-pressure season. As the story develops, all eyes will remain on San Francisco. Will this controversy galvanize the team or deepen underlying tensions? Only time will tell. But for now, Kyle Shanahan's bold move has certainly sent shockwaves through the league, leaving fans and insiders alike eager for the next twist in what is already shaping up to be one of the most talked-about saga of the season. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.